Deep intimacy with my sisters is a dynamic that no romantic relationship will ever replace. I never feel safer than when I'm in a room full of women. The unspoken, empathic knowing that rests gently in every gaze and embrace. The power that surges up in my womb for the victory of every story we have grown through. The sacredness of all that is unspoken but deeply felt. When we come together, we shapeshift into different archetypes naturally. The mother, the maiden, the witch, the queen, and so on. We reflect and remind each other of our power. We create the spaces that our hearts never had but always needed. For me, cuddling and platonic touch with my sisters has been immensely healing. I used to hook up with people just because I wanted to be held at the end of the night. I didn't know there was a way to ask for just that. If you know me, I probably hold you a lot. It feels so good to be radiant, sensual, and liberated without being sexualized or carry the fear that things are expected to go further. I feel most beautiful when the female gaze lands upon me because I feel the most seen. If you're ever feeling less than radiant, call up your sisters and return home. Sacred sisterhood is a main pillar of my life, and I, as a young, introverted, mixed race girl who was bullied all throughout middle school, never thought that I could have really deep, meaningful friendships, and I didn't relate to most of the people around me. It wasn't until I began my spiritual journey that I started to uncover this incredible thing called sacred sisterhood and begin feeling really empowered by connection and friendships in a way that I had never experienced before. I always thought there was something wrong with me up until about the point that I was 18, being so immensely introverted that I always would have chosen to be alone rather than go to a party or spend time with people. I slowly have realized as I've gotten older that I just didn't have anything to say to people who I didn't relate to, which is perfectly normal and natural. And I feel like sacred sisterhood is a way to consistently feel seen, to feel held, to have that platonic, intimate touch and be a conduit for safety and healing and growth together. And I genuinely feel like I'm dating all of my friends only because we show up for each other in the same way that maybe a romantic partner would show up, minus any sexual connection happening. It's just fully like I'm here for you. I'm your partner in this life. I'm holding your hand through every season. This container for all aspects of you to rise and be seen with love, even the shadow aspects, even the triggers, even the traumas, even the days when you're sleepy, you can always be embraced in love. But I wanted to kind of get into some tips for creating these friendships, for creating these safe containers. And I wanted to start off by talking about trauma, because if you've experienced trauma in your life, which most of us have, I think in particular childhood trauma, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, these things can feel like a stain on your personality or on who you are. At least that's how I describe it. Like going into these households where things were peaceful and calm and safe, and the parents were checking in on their kids. I felt so foreign, and I felt like a dirty or something. I felt like stained and tainted by the things that had happened to me. But please allow me to affirm to you and remind you that your trauma does not make you any less worthy of taking up space. It doesn't make you any less worthy of love, and it doesn't make you any less perfect or divine. If anything, your trauma really illuminates your level of depth, your capacity to hold space, your capacity for healing and strength, and I think just makes you a more well-rounded, grounded person if you've survived your traumas and you carry the healing codes that you've learned from it. I think that it can be really powerful. And on the other side of that, it might make you afraid to trust people. It might make you afraid to be taken advantage of, or just less confident in people overall, which I've definitely experienced. And I used to be really angry at the people who took advantage of me. And as I've learned to speak my boundaries and use my voice, I realized that in some ways in my, later adult life, I was complicit in those people taking advantage of me because I didn't use my voice, because I saw their behavior and I continued allowing them in my life. So I think on the other side of this is knowing your worth enough enough to not accept low quality nourishment and be able to speak your boundaries when things don't feel good. And at this point in my life, I only have people around me who I trust with my entire heart, who are spiritually mature enough that even if we have different opinions on very core things, that there's a level of respect and knowing and reciprocity. And I refuse to have any relation that doesn't mirror that, because it's like, what are we really doing if I can't trust you, or I'm afraid that you're going to use me or backstab me? I don't want to have any of that paranoia at all. There is less reactivity, there's more accountability, there's more space for growth and open conversations on disagreements, and there really is such an immense honoring of boundaries. Boundaries are important for attracting the right people into your life. Now let's talk about social anxiety. I feel like this could be another main hindrance on the path of finding incredible connections in your life. I've mentioned this a lot, but things that are new will feel scary and maybe bring you a lot of anxiety, not necessarily because they are unsafe, but simply because it's a new experience. And I personally love to do vocal toning before I hang out with people, especially with a new friend. I will chant the vowels A, E, I, O, U, or I'll just chant some ohms or some Sanskrit mantras, but I feel like activating my throat chakra really allows me to feel confident in my voice. When I was really depressed and I wouldn't talk to anyone for days at a time, and then I would go and hang out with someone, I almost felt like I was whispering. It was almost foreign to use my voice and feel the power behind it. So when I started chanting, I became so familiar with the power of my voice and the tones, and it just opened up my throat to where it was less scary to really speak and speak loudly and boldly. So I highly recommend vocal toning before you go out. Sometimes I'll do breath work before I go out to calm my nervous system. As a lot of us know, extending your exhale will activate the parasympathetic nervous system and can really help with anxiety. If you have anxiety, I do not recommend doing any fiery, intense breath works with breath retentions or increasing your inhale. But if you do want some energy and to move your energy around, another thing you can do is dance and do some ecstatic movement. Listen to an ecstatic dance playlist on Spotify and just move your body, become familiar with your energy. And this is something that I do with the women in my life a lot now. We shake, we twerk, we make all the noises, we really make space for new energy. Pretty much anything that opens you up and acclimates you to the immense powers surging through your body and your heart. Those are great things to do before entering into any social situation. And it sounds so silly, but even friends that I've known for a really long time, sometimes I'll still get nervous before hanging out with them. And so it's really nice to ground my energy. Sometimes I'll say affirmations. I feel like it's kind of cringy if I imagine my life as a movie and there's a shot of me getting ready to go out and I'm just standing in the mirror looking at my reflection like, I am beautiful. I am worthy of love. But it's so easy to forget the power that we hold just in the amount of love that we have to share in the world. Your sensitivity is so, so sacred, and I really do think that breathing into your heart helps you to anchor in this purity, this knowing, this eternal place where your soul actually resides, knowing that there's nothing about you that's actually wrong or right, that this is all just a grand happening and you're really just here to witness and return everything to love. I just got out of the shower and I'm about to walk to one of my friends' houses, but I kind of wanted to show you what I bring to a friend's house. I know this is kind of extra, but I feel that we are all living, breathing embodiments of love and can be refuges for people and healing for people and mirrors. And I really like to facilitate experiences when I'm with the people that I love and do things that help to inspire healing and soul conversation. So I think that a lot of people use these conversation cards, and my version of that is just oracle cards. This is the deck I'm bringing today. It's a Goddess Guidance Oracle deck, although I really love my Rummy deck as well, and I feel like oracle cards are just fun to set intentions for your day and just return whatever you're going through to the witnessing, you know, and not feel so close and attached to whatever stories are coming up for you in the day. I, of course, bring my journal, manifestation journal, and this is a little song lyric journal that I've been bringing around. A lot of times when I'm in nature, I feel like the elements really speak to me. So I've been writing some of those things down. I usually bring an offering. This just makes me happy. I really like bringing some kind of offering to my friends' houses if I'm going to their place, and I'm just bringing some incense, but sometimes I'll bring candles or some vegan Pop-Tarts or anything that I just baked that day, or some food. It's just really nice to enter a space and bring something positive to it. A lot of times I'll bring a book. I'm not bringing this book today, but I'm rereading the Bhagavad Gita explained by Paramahamsa Yogananda, just because there's a lot to unpack here. And I really find it to be so intimate to be silent with other people and to read in silence together and to essentially do things that you would do on your own with a friend. Those are the kind of friends I have in my life, and it feels really safe and inspiring and productive to just be together in silence doing whatever you would do alone. Sometimes I'll bring my singing bowl. This is a chalice, and I'll have a link to where I got this down below. She gave me a 15% discount if any of you would like to get one. This is tuned to a high heart chakra note, F sharp, and it's lovely. This is quite beautiful and extravagant, but any singing bowl is really great for dropping you into your senses, into your body, into the witnessing, and you don't have to spend even more than $25 on a singing bowl. And I really love these for meditations, for vocal toning, especially with other people, because you can feel the vibration and the frequency so strongly, and it's just really activating. I just kind of bring little ascension tools. This is very new age playdate things that I bring. I don't know, let me know what you bring to facilitate sweetness and presence at your friends' houses. Vulnerability is an integral part of any deep, intimate connection with someone. I personally feel like vulnerability is my constant state of being, because I just can't lie about the way that I feel, and myself and so many other femme people are so empathic, so intuitive, that we already know what's going on beneath the surface, and that's the level that I like to reside upon most, is the level of consciousness and shifting and alchemizing things from there. But one question that I always ask people when I first start hanging out with them is what their love language is, just so that I can know what makes them feel super loved and appreciated. And I'm really lucky because most of my friends, their love language is physical touch, and I'm the exact same way. Like, put my pinky toe on your pinky toe and I feel peace and safety rush through my entire body. And this happens a lot. I'll be doing the dishes and my roommate will come up and put her foot on top of my foot, and I just feel so loved. I also really like to ask, what are you really proud of for growing through, and what's something that you're still working to heal? I also like asking people what their final moment of peace is, the moment in their life that just feels so complete and so lovely and so full, and the reason that they keep going. To ask your sisters how you can best support them in this season of their life, how you can show up for them, what kind of support that they need. Lastly, I wanted to talk about different things you can do with your sisters to just have the best time ever and live the best life and have really great memories. Definitely hiking, camping of any sort, you know, a little excursion into the woods, building fires together. Of course, any kind of spiritual practices, yoga, meditation, doing them online in your house from YouTube or going to a class. I think that doing any kind of DIYs or indigo dyeing together, having a clothing swap, doing an arts and crafts day. I really like the idea of painting your orgasm. That's a party idea that my roommates and I have for Valentine's Day. Everyone just paint what their climax looks like. I don't know. Sensoriums are also a really beautiful thing, just basically having a whole ceremony set up to drop you into your senses. Candles, feathers, chocolate covered strawberries, beautiful music, maybe bring your instruments, singing bowls, and just kind of share the medicine that each of you are with each other. If one person teaches yoga, the other person teaches breath work, or whatever different places you might be stemming from, just sharing something that has really helped you heal in this like sensual experience. I love it. And if your friends are comfortable, you can invite physical touch and massage. But yeah, those are just some kind of thoughts and ideas on sacred sisterhood. I hope that you can continue to call in those sacred sisters into your life. Thank you so much for being here and joining me today. I should mention that I'm in New York City currently, and the next video will be a vlog. But yeah, I'm really happy to be here, really happy to be sharing space and time with you. Until I see you next, please take some deep belly breaths, and I'm just blessing you up with so much love. I'm so proud of you for being here. Thank you.